This is the Know Nothing Show with Steve and Eric.
Get ready for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It is the Know Nothing Show. My name is Steve Benz. Eric Black on the other side of the video. He's right over there. Yeah, we are beautiful people. Stop it. Nothing but delicious radio right here live from Chicago and from Nash Vegas, as they say. I guess that's what we call it now. Eric, how the hell are you, my friend?
Man, I'm good. I'm not going to call it Nash Vegas unless I'm making fun of it, because I don't understand that whole situation at all. That's nothing like Vegas at all.
It could be.
It's not.
Because you get to wear, as Glenn Campbell once sang, Rhinestone Cowboy. You could do that in Nashville, and you could do that in Vegas. No pooping allowed, my friend. None whatsoever.
Well, I mean...
Okay, you can't do it.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, we will not see. It is what it is.
Look, I got some funds coming in from people that say, hey, we want to see. You got to give the people what they want.
This is not a striptease show. That would be after hours. At
you know what? That's true. That's true. I am having an issue differentiating between before the after hours and the after hours.
Kind of like that commercial.
I'm not sure what you're watching.
I don't know what that means.
But I didn't even know they had that channel for free anymore. I thought that was a paid
announcements by all the people that don't pay us. Right? So have you had a good... There's a lot of things that have gone on this week that we're going to talk about because we can.
Holy cow.
But how was your week? We haven't talked in several days. We used to talk like lovers, like every day.
Mm-hmm.
Torn between two lovers.
Sweet nothings in our ears. Yeah.
So, now we're not talking as often because as you are Eric Black Inc. EBI or Ebola, as they say. Did you know that's how Hef died? Ebola killed him.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said. I'm like, the dude was 91.
Yeah. Not the 2,000 women he slept with, but Ebola.
He had a bad tomato.
Well, that's
bad tomato.
Yeah.
Somebody left a little fish on the counter and he was licking it. Like,
that's
sick.
Weird. Yeah.
So how was your week though? We don't talk about it anymore.
We don't talk as often as we probably should, mainly because we do it here, I guess. But no, my week is not bad. It's not horrible. It's been really busy as per usual these days. I don't know why, but it is. We're all busy. But I've got like 3 or 4 different things going on throughout my day, and I only have room for like 1.5. So that's fun. That's always good.
Okay.
But it could be worse, which we'll probably get into in a little bit. It could definitely be worse, but it could be a little bit better.
I could live next door or behind you.
Well, I think either one of those, not good, not a good opportunity situation.
You don't think it'd be a good neighbor?
No, you're not State Farm.
I'm outside. I'm going, hi, Eric.
Which would be totally fine, except you would have no clothes on, and I'm not going to lie, I'm the only one in this neighborhood who gets to go no clothes.
Sure.
So,
Mr. Black's neighborhood, and he going racist. He going racist on me.
Well, maybe.
Hello to everybody that's watching us on Facebook Live.
Yeah, what's up? Hello, how are things? Good? Good.
Deuces, as they say. He's over there, right there. That's how it is. I see the red Solo cup. I say cheers, mate. I say cheers to you all.
Cheers to you and all of all of you. What are you drinking? Urine? What is that?
No, you don't need to know
Okay.
what I'm drinking. Something Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Yeah, it's urine. Okay.
So what? It's good for your hair.
Well, okay. I
It's
mean,
my pee. It's my
So
pee.
so I wonder how they figured that out, because I've actually looked at that. That's legit. It's actually good for your hair. But was this because of golden showers, or were they just actually saying, what are some other uses that we can get from human excrement?
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
From the videos that we were watching, I thought the golden showers was good for your hair because their hair looked very shiny at the end of the show.
It had a little bit of that yellow tint to it, like Barbie situation. Maybe Barbie wasn't as innocent as we all thought she was.
Yeah. She was a slut. Let's face it. She was a slut.
Just saying.
Okay. I still haven't figured out the difference between a slut, a skank, and something else that I heard in my 20s. I didn't know the difference between them all, but
I think it depends. If you're calling someone this, I think it depends on which ones which one's going to hurt them the worst, and that's what they are.
But it's only women saying that. Like if I called you a skank, you probably would. It would like brush right off. You'd be like,
I wouldn't care. I'd be like, yeah, dude, I didn't take a shower today. It's fine. I'll take one tomorrow. Not a big deal. Totally cool.
It's a good lyric. I'm a skank me.
Cool, bro. Cool.
Skankology. That'd be a good book by us.
Yeah.
No, nothing. No. Skankology, written by Steve and Eric.
Coming at you.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so last week we went a little legit.
Oh, geez.
I think there's been a lot of people looking for some legitness from us. Is that a word?
It is. Yeah. If the Know Nothing Boys say it, it's truth.
That's going to be our next CD.
Yeah.
But I must say, before we get into things that are going around in the world that we must comment on, I know that you were talking to another musician about songwriting, and I think that's very important for us to touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're writing Christmas carols the way Black does, must be discussed.
Yeah. I actually knew a Carol that changed her name. She was a stripper. She changed her name to Christmas Carol when Christmas came around, and she made a stupid amount of money, ridiculously large amount of money.
That's kind of funny.
So here's the thing. So I had an interesting conversation today with one of my songwriters friends, and he's one of these guys that's been in the business forever. He's got several #1 hits, blah blah blah. He knows what he's talking about, and he can write a good song in a very short amount of time. Now, he's not only a good songwriter, but he's a good entertainer. He can actually tell you stories. They're true stories, but he's very good at storytelling. And any songwriter it's worth anything is very good at telling some sort of story, whether it's in form or just literally telling you a story. They're really good at storytelling. So him and a friend of mine, so there's 3 of us hanging out in Franklin today, and just sitting there talking about the music industry and all that good stuff. But he was saying, like, and this dude seriously has had several #1 hits. He's had and a lot of great songs. And we were talking about how the industry is not paying songwriters. I mean, they're not paying music people in general. If you're not a label, if you're not a publishing company, you're generally you don't get paid very much. But he was saying, like, even the songwriter, when all the money dwindles down, which I think right now, for a spin on, say Pandora, I think it's 0.091 cents.
Oh, it's smaller than that.
It's ridiculous. It's super small. It keeps going down. Well, when it all trickles back down to the songwriter, which is actually where the song starts,
right?
They don't get paid hardly anything at all. Like they have a hard time making a living. Whereas, the band, the artist, the publishers, and the labels are who makes the most money off of the bands. Okay. And we were talking about this, and even somebody that's had several #1 hits. That, I mean, he's by no means poor, but he's still like not getting paid for what he's supposed to be getting paid for.
Okay.
He's not making the money that is due him, is what I'm saying, like to make a really good living. I mean, there's other jobs that he's doing. There's other side jobs that he's doing that don't have anything to do with music other than they're in Music City to keep afloat. There's times where you have to do some things like that. But I'm like, these songs, and it's in the country market, which I completely don't care about. Respect, but don't care about. But they're all big name artists. They're all people that you've heard of if you're in the country scene.
Okay.
And that baffled me. I couldn't understand how the person that actually created the song, that actually gave this person the idea, and this happens here. The short breakdown is, if you're, let's say you're Garth Brooks, you're contracted to do 3 albums over the next 4 years.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. But what happens when you cannot come up with any songs, or you have a 10-song album that you promised, but you've got the first 5 and that's it. You can't go any. You got a block. Well, you hire a songwriter. You co-write the song with this songwriter, or you buy the song, whichever you prefer. Usually in the country music scene, it actually is a co-write, which is kind of cool. Well, so you've got a full album now, but now you have half of them are solely yours, and then the other half you've written with a co-writer, which now you don't. It's not just 1 or 2 publishing companies. Now it may be 2 or 3, because you have one, your songwriter has one, maybe your other songwriter. There's multiple. By the time you get done with this song, you've made nothing. You've made exactly nothing on this song, unless it goes platinum. Unless you can get a platinum album out of it, you as the artist don't really see much of that. And then you as the songwriter will probably never see any of that. So that's the long and short of it. So I was just amazed by how much success this person has, but yet they're not making any money. Like, the labels are making their money. They're making all of that back. They take it whenever you sell an album and you make a stupid amount of money off of that album, it goes platinum, right. Whatever it's going to do, the label and the publishing company, first dibs. And then you get whatever's left. Now, this is different from before, whereas you would make money off of an entire album because people buy albums.
Okay.
Now they're buying singles on iTunes or Spotify or Amazon or wherever they're going to get their music from. They're buying them in singles as opposed to entire albums. So now it's considerably less. So instead of making $1,200 a month, now maybe you're only making $700 a month or less.
Or even less, because it's only one song versus you got 10 or 13, and most of them suck except for the 2 or 3. Where back then, you would have to buy all 13 songs, even if they suck.
No matter what. Yep. So
then your publishing and everything else from that. Okay, I'm with you so far.
So that's kind of where it's at right now, is the music industry. And this is a conversation that it's not new to us. We've had this conversation several times. But, coming from, and it's been a while since I've actually had a conversation like this with a legit songwriter, with somebody that's actually doing it in the industry.
The word is legit.
Legit. But it just regurgitated those thoughts of, this is a messed up industry. There's nothing. You're essentially, you're giving these performers the rights to your songs, but you're not giving any. You don't get any of that. You never see any of that. So we were trying to have a conversation about that, and it just kind of refueled that fire of, I'm getting screwed. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And which has always been true. That's why they all hit the road, because that's what they get.
Right.
Your performance license that they have to still pay for. Everybody, they got to pay to perform their own freaking songs.
Their own songs.
And that's why they go on tour. That's why you see a lot of these bands at fairs.
Yeah.
Or they're still paying people off. So
casinos are big too.
Now that kind of gets me to our first subject, which is an American rocker just passed away, and who he was. Now I'm gonna throw down some knowledge about Tom Petty. Okay.
Yep.
Not sure if you're a Tom Petty fan. It doesn't matter if you're a Tom Petty fan.
Doesn't matter.
Things he did in the 70s, 80s actually altered who he was, what he was, and the style that he played. Okay.
Yep.
So for some of you that were fans in the 70s, American radio didn't know where to put him. It's like, what? How is it possible? They're saying, if you think about in the 70s, we had the beginning of new wave hit.
Right.
Okay. The Police, the Cars, all these bands started to show up. So if you're a historian, so they're going, Tom Petty, you're not classic rock, because classic rock had not been invented yet. Okay. They went, well, you're not country. You're not Hank Williams.
Right.
You're not rock. You're not pop. Where are we going to put you? So for like 5 years, DJs would be like, and program directors, and if you met any of them, the losers, they got no clue. Yeah. So they're like, well, I don't want to play until, let me even step back one. So he submits his first album. He finally makes it or whatever, and they're trying to screw him over it.
Right.
What a surprise. So they hit him up for like $500,000, for studio time and all this other stuff. They're a big, long story. So, and as back then, record labels were coming, going, they were being sold left and right. So Tom Petty is like, well, screw you. I'm going to get out of this agreement. So he files bankruptcy.
Right.
And that got him out of the first deal.
Yep.
Okay. Because he's like, well, screw you. If I owe you or whatever, screw you. I don't care. Yeah. I'll just tour. I'm going to hold on to my music. Yeah. I'm not giving it to you. So later on, now he takes off. Kaboom. Dude is huge. Tom Petty was freaking everywhere in the 80s. You could not go an hour without hearing a Tom Petty song.
Yep.
Okay. Stations still didn't know what to do with him. So now I'm in radio going, let's play this guy. This is damn good.
Right.
So I go, but Steve, we just played Led Zeppelin. I'm like, that's when I first got fired. Anyway. So now he's big. So now he's got another album coming out, and he's fighting with the record label again. And that's why this gets us to the song I Won't Back Down. It's the essence of what I Won't Back Down is all about. So they're fighting with him because they want to release, now that he's a top performing artist, they want to release a vinyl at $9.98. All albums at that time were $8.98. Okay. And he said, you can go shove it. There ain't no way my fans are going to pay extra because I made it big.
Right.
And that's what the song I Won't Back Down was all about. It was like,
Yep.
And he won. Now, if you think at the time, George Michael was fighting with, was it Sony? I think it was Sony.
I think it was Sony.
You had Prince fighting. Everybody was fighting with the record companies. And here you are talking about a 30-year effing later. It's the same problem.
Same exact problem. Yeah. Except now, and it is actually, because now vinyl is coming back and they're charging $24, $30 for a freaking vinyl. Which I get because it took so long in the middle. You got to come back. You got to make the machines and all that stuff. But it's like, nah.
And with that, you have to understand one other piece that people don't know is when you make an album, they front the money.
Yeah.
They say, hey, is it going to take you like Michael Jackson's Thriller? I didn't think it was a great album, but they gave him $5 million, I think, up front for it.
It was a large sum of money.
He had to, so now he has to come up with $5 million of profit.
Yep.
To pay off that debt. That's what's kind of really interesting. And that's, as I heard more and more of Tom Petty, I was like, man, I remember all that. And of course, CBS, the morons, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. And yet he's not dead.
And yet he's not.
That's American journalism right there.
Yep.
So good to know.
Yep.
Good to know. Because everybody's in a hurry to be the first news of it.
Right.
Now, I don't know were you a Petty fan at all?
Oh, yeah.
Was that the time?
Yep. Absolutely. Still am.
Florida guy. Certainly, people say not the most attractive guy, although he hung out with beauties. I'm just saying that.
Well, he's a rock star. You can be, I have met some freaking ugly rock stars that hang out with super freaking models. I'm like, you got to be packing, man. And it's got to be some sort of money because you are butt ugly. You fell from the top of the ugly tree all the way down and you hit every single branch you could hit. Got to be something.
And yet they go, but I'm a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out a lot of these rock stars are broke.
Yeah, which is why they're going back out on tour.
Yeah, over and over. I mean, there's a lot of acts here in Chicago that come back every year. How many times can Chicago come back, the band?
Well, depends on how many times they go broke, I guess.
It's like, guys, I get it. How many ex-wives do you have?
Yeah.
What's the last hit you have with the other lead singer? What, 80?
It wasn't this decade. Yep. Wasn't this decade.
Let's come out with our 8th greatest hits. Same stuff.
Yeah.
We just did a
new album cover. That's it.
And you got to love the greatest hits. If you're a fan, don't you already have the songs?
Yeah. So now I want another album with the same.
Like all the Elvis stuff that goes number 1. It's like, isn't it the same bad music? Or Okay, Elvis fans are fanatical.
Whoa.
Same music over and over again, just in a different package.
Whoa.
Just saying. I am just saying.
We're going to get a bigger mailbox.
Now, over in Nashville, was it a big deal when Tom Petty passed this past week?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people, a lot of rock stars, a lot of. Well, the problem was it got kind of covered up by the Vegas situation. Because that came out.
Talk about. Okay.
Yeah, that came out first, and then the news of Petty came out, so it kind of got masked a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there's a huge following. I mean, even in the country scene here, there's a huge following of Tom Petty. He's an icon in the music industry. It doesn't matter what genre you're in, he's an icon in the music industry. So, a lot of the people here too have actually, written with him or partnered with him, or I mean, even some of the country singers have written songs with him. They didn't perform them; they just wrote songs with him to either for him to perform or for somebody else to perform. But either way, they kind of co-wrote with him. So yeah, I mean, it hit home pretty hard because he was a pretty big pretty big deal in the music scene. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, he influenced how many generations? Well, I don't think that's stopped. I think it's still going to be. Yeah, and he will. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about Tom Petty, how many covers do you hear of his songs? 0. Yeah, you don't. I always thought that was kind of interesting that you think like even the duet with Stevie Nicks, and they fought constantly. Yeah, that was their friendship, and yet no one's done a duet of that or covered it. It's kind of interesting that no one has, because I'll cover just about everything. Yep. If it's out there, I'm waiting for Taylor Swift to cover one of Tom Petty's songs. That just excites me right there. Well, and I think, okay. But I know there's going to be a lot of covers now. Yeah. There's already been a tribute. Actually, Corey Taylor, which he apparently is the tribute guy. He's always in the news doing some tribute whenever an artist dies. But he did a tribute that actually was pretty good. He did it on I think it was one of the morning shows or something like that. But I think you're going to start to see that a lot more people doing covers and things like that. But a lot of bad ones, But if they're doing it for charity and stuff like that, I'm all good for that. Yep. Okay. But karaoke, leave that alone. Just good cover, because most of the covers suck. Okay. For the most part. Agreed. But I could hear Dave Grohl doing a Petty song. Maybe. I could hear him saying, you know what? I've got all the CDs, man. I could play that. Yeah. He does. That would be kind of one of the guys. You wouldn't think like the guys from Oasis. I don't even know why that popped in my head. Sublime might cover that. There you go. Everclear would do it. Think of some of the metal bands that you like. They could do a Tom Petty song. Yep. Absolutely. I think that would be good. Tell you what, when we come back, we're going to talk about, we still got more to talk about. We got Vegas. We both have a lot to say about that. Yeah. Cam Newton, what did he say? We're going to talk about that. We're going to jump to a break right now. Do not move. We will be back in what they say on Love Connection, 2 and 2. Stay tuned for more. It is the Know Nothing Show. Welcome back to the Know Nothing Show, where both Steve and Eric, that would be me and him, we actually know something every now and then. I don't want to be throwing people off, We know cereal. That's what we both know. And if it's Root Loops, we're both on it. That's right. We're on it. All right, so earlier we were talking about Tom Petty. Again, one of the great American rockers out there. Before I move on to the next subject, I'm going to throw something hard at you. When you talk about before this, give me 4 American rockers that are like Mount Rushmore. Could be from any era. Who might you put up there? Because Tom Petty is very American. Tom Petty would be up there. He's one of those. I mean, you're looking. I don't know if you've heard of, if you followed Gene Simmons and Kiss, their story of how they became what they are. Right. But I mean, I think no matter how you feel about him, no matter how you feel about the current people that are up there, they're up there. I think he would be one of those people. Yeah, I would agree. And copy, they were not the first band named Kiss. No,
They
No.
got out the copyright and went, see ya, we're going to sue you.
Yep. They were kisses.
Capitalism. So,
It was kisses.
so would you put Gene and Paul up there?
Yeah, I think so.
So like half and half, kind of like you and I,
Maybe.
half and half.
Maybe a half and half situation. Yeah, that'd be all right. We could do that.
All right. So if we put Gene and Paul, Penny, who else do you think might you throw up there?
Ian.
It's hard because it's like, who would you put in like the 90s? So if you go Kiss our 70s, Penny's 80s.
I mean, would you put Elvis up there because he kind of changed? I mean,
You'd almost have to, although he didn't write his own music.
he did not, but he was a ridiculously good entertainer.
Okay, so we'll put Elvis up there.
We need one more.
Yeah.
Tough
one. Would you put like Don Henley from the Eagles? Okay, maybe not. See, it's hard. You get to the 3 and then you go, now what? How yeah, see Frank Sinatra is not really would you use Frankie? Maybe not. Maybe Vegas. He would be a Vegas Mount Rushmore.
He would be at the casino on that one. Man,
It's hard. The 4th one is hard.
William Hung, maybe put him up there. Pretty well.
I threw this question at another group, and they all got to only 3. Now it's a different 3, but that's as far as everyone got. It's the 4th one that you go, I don't know. So that's a good question. Who would be on the American Mount Rushmore? The 4.
Yeah, that's
who would people put? Like if you're going to do rock and roll, it's very easy because you'd start pulling out British artists,
right?
Because that's easy, but American art is hard.
It is hard.
Because I just sat there going through. Let's think of somebody else, and you can't sit there. Someone just said Ricky Nelson. No, never. People won't think of Ricky Nelson.
No, I didn't think.
He's a TV star. Okay. And if you think of Elvis more of a movie star, but then he's still selling albums over and over. The same thing.
He's selling out arenas and he's not even there.
That's right. They just show posters of Elvis.
That's right.
They just show a blue Hawaii or something of that sort.
Freaking crazy.
It's hard. The 4th one is hard. So people have to figure out who would be. We need to post that up somewhere. The American Mount Rushmore. Yeah. I've heard a lot of names. It's like, well, no, they're not American. No, they're not American. No, they're not American. So where do you go with that then?
Yeah,
it's hard to say. You know, some people said, hey, well, like John Fogerty, CCR. Yes, but no.
Right.
Okay. I guess we'd have to almost Google to see who are the top American artists. I gotta write this down because we're gonna put a poll up on our Facebook page post show, and you guys can have a chance to figure this out with us because that 4th one is the hardest. Yeah, and it could be any 4. You put up any 4. It doesn't have to be the 4 that we have.
No, any of them. Your choice. You choose. We're gonna put a poll up, and then you can choose which ones you want to do.
It's hard, and I would guess your age would determine some of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your gender. I would think your gender would decide that. Like top female, Pat Benatar. Well, you know, you got to think of American female artists. Joan Jett, who I thought was the worst concert I've ever seen in my life.
I was the opposite. I saw her in LA recently, like 2-3 years ago at Blues House of Blues.
Right.
And she actually put on a good show. I mean, you could tell she was 20 years older, but I mean, for entertainment value, it was good.
Well,
granted,
I saw her and she was it was with the Police, and she got booed off the stage. It was so bad. I was, oh my God, that was horrible.
Yeah, her and I have that in common then. That's good.
Right. That's true. That's true. Someone just said Cher. Shut up. Cher does not belong. Have you seen Cher's commercials? I think someone's got her hand up her ass and talking for her. She looks so bad. She has a Gap commercial.
Gap? Really?
Yeah, it's Gap.
She kind of sold out then, didn't she?
I thought this is not grandma jeans, because I heard that they have boyfriend jeans out there. So she's wearing grandpa jeans. Is that what's going on?
You know what? Maybe share is share.
Yeah, sure. And they didn't write any of that. That was all Sonny Bono, the few things that he wrote. So
SB. Yeah.
And he was, let's face it, he was horrendous. So you have an opportunity to make it, my friend.
Yeah. See, I think him and William Hung. Oh.
He is close on selling 500,000 copies of William B. Hung. Okay. So hate him all you want. People bought it.
Because he sucks so bad. You went platinum because you are incredibly horrible.
You know what? If you had a chance to go platinum with stuff like that, would you do it? Yes, you would.
That's not the point. Listen, I posted earlier, either today or yesterday, I posted, extraordinary is not always good. You can be extraordinarily bad, too.
Okay.
That's what
I'm extraordinary. Okay.
Which is even worse.
But if I have a chance to sell a gold album, I'm doing it.
And have the world make fun of you. Have the entire world.
The Muppets, Kermit T. Frog sold a gold album.
That's not his middle name.
And that was a puppet. Okay.
You're solidifying my case.
Puppet.
And they made more money than the songwriter friend I had.
That's right. That's right.
Dumb.
It's like if you go back in time when the Monkees were fighting with the guys that wrote all their music. Yeah. Like, guys, you were a fake band. Do you not get?
Yeah. And stop fighting with the people that actually make you money. Stop it.
And then they decide to go out on their own. They're only going to sing their own songs. Down it went.
Really well.
Down it went. All right. So let's move on to certainly we talked about Vegas. Okay.
Yeah.
I could probably go on for like 4 hours.
Right.
With what happened. News that just came out today. The gunman, we're never going to mention his name. I wish news would stop glorifying these people.
These douchebags.
Let's face it. You're looking for your 15 minutes of fame. Are you not?
Yep.
Like the Unabomber. Great example.
Right.
Okay? They just want to be famous. That's what this is all about.
Yep.
Just want to be famous. They should never show their face. Nothing. None of that.
Nope.
He was actually trying to get a room at Grant Park here in Chicago for Lollapalooza.
Wow.
It was just reported today that he was trying to be at other outdoor venues. So a lot of planning went into this. Okay. And they're saying, oh, he's so calm or whatever. Okay. You don't know when they went after the brother and stuff. How would the brother know? You don't know.
Right.
You don't live with your brother. I couldn't tell you what my brothers do on a daily basis, even if I wanted to.
Yep.
So you don't know. Here's my first beef to start it all. You are in Vegas to start with. Now, for Vegas has got their security freaking everywhere.
Literally, yeah.
Okay. There are cameras every freaking corner. So somehow, some way, he got 20 automatic rifles past the lobby into an elevator up 32 floors where there's more security cams. They're freaking everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He then breaks the window with a sledgehammer. Where's security through all of this? Okay. Right. I remember carrying a 12-pack of Budweiser through the Bellagio. I got tackled. I got handcuffed over everything.
And worst of all, you got tired.
Right. So that's my first beef of all of this. Now, some have come back and said, it's constitutional right to bear arms. I totally agree with that. That will never be erased from America.
Right.
Never. Okay. That was written to fight off the king.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to be doing something better than looking at our phones and ignoring everything that goes around us.
Right.
Now, The hotel that he was in is extremely busy. You cannot tell me someone didn't see this guy walk by and you go, maybe. And I'll go one step further. Remember when someone attempted to get onto an airplane with a plastic explosive in their shoe, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened after that? Everybody on the planet has to take off their shoes.
Yep.
Now, we've got weapons all over the place,
Yep.
and we can't do anything about it.
Right.
I said this 20 years ago from one of the other stations, a conservative station I was on. Okay.
Which is weird.
Yeah. Who knew? And this is what I always said, and I still believe. You can have the guns all you want, but if you want to stop the shooting that was going on in Los Angeles when I was there, tax the crap out of the ammunition.
Yeah.
They won't be able to afford the ammunition. Instead, we could buy ammunition and guns at Walmart. Hey, you can do that with a gift card.
Yep.
Hey, Eric Black, he wants a shotgun for lunch. You know what? You can put that on layaway. What was your first reaction when you woke up and you heard about Vegas?
Well, I mean, first of all, it completely sucks. There's nothing good about it. I mean, it started off as 30 people and ended up being, 58 plus people.
Yeah.
And some 500 and some people that were injured, which is a pretty large amount of people. So almost 600 people were affected. I mean, everybody was affected by this, but immediately you felt the effect because you had a hole in your chest. Yeah. So to me, now maybe I'm on the side of conspiracy theorists, but so far, none of this adds up. None of this is something that I'm just like, oh yeah, I can go along with that. There's nothing yet that I'm just like, there's a little bit more to this than what you guys are letting us know about. And this is not just something that was, I think this guy, I think he was a scapegoat, first of all, in this particular situation. Now there's other situations that we are being made known of that now have to have another thought process.
Okay.
But I think this guy, not that he's a good person. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there's something bigger than this. This is not something that it was just, by one person. This was by a group of, now ISIS took credit for this, which I don't believe one bit, not at all. They saw an opportunity and they capitalized on it.
Right. Okay.
I don't believe that. They may have had some sort of small part somewhere, but I don't think they didn't plan this. This was something else. This was, dare I say, some of our own people.
I would agree. I would agree that it's homegrown. Okay.
There is a very political situation going on right now with gun control. Very political. I mean, if you watch the whatever that is, C-SPAN, I mean, it's in there 9 out of 10 times. Somewhere, it's in there all the time. Now, the problem with that is that I do agree that there may need to be some stricter laws.
Okay.
What I don't agree with is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a gun or what. I mean, there was bombings a while back. There was people that used their fists. I mean, it doesn't matter what the weapon is. If you control it, if you put more restrictions on it, that means more people are going to try to find out how to get those things. Look at this, what we'll call the war on drugs.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. There is no war on drugs.
You say you can't have it. I want it. It's like sex. Yeah. I want it, and I know I'm going to hear I'm not going to get it. So
the war on drugs failed 20 years ago, pretty much right when it started. You can't do that. You can't come out and announce, hey, we're going to stop doing this and it's going to be better, because that makes all the people that want to do that more. And those particular people have access to particular things that are devastating, that are destructive. So I do agree something needs to happen. And something is wrong. Something is broken, and it needs to be fixed. Is it stricter gun laws? Maybe. Is it more of a? Now, here's the other thing. The last few of these incidents, the shootings, they have been done by people on some sort of psychotic medication.
Okay. Yep.
But yet we're not cracking down on the pharmaceutical companies. We're not blaming them for these situations when people go out of their freaking mind because they're taking hallucinogens to cover up another problem. all you're doing, it's just covering one problem over another, but we're not going after them.
And keep in mind, we are the most medicated society on the planet. Okay.
I love pharmaceutical drugs.
So hey, you got a headache. Oh, I'll do this. You got this. Oh, you think your kid is a little too excited. Let's pretty dope them up. Let's not pay attention to the kids. Let's not educate the kids. Let's not do anything. Let's dope the shit.
Let's not find the actual problem. Let's just cover it with a Band-Aid and hope it goes away.
Yeah, let's here's another thing that I'm a part of a generation, the 80s generation. All right. So we are that pussy ass group of kids where our parents grew up in the 50s and 60s, the greatest generation. So what they did anything and everything for us, and we grew up with participation trophies. Right. We're like, we just want to be happy. Let's join hands. And let's blur the lines between men and women. Okay. Yay! So the roles of men and women in the 80s, God bless you, ladies. You guys could do anything that you want. But the 70s, 80s, we saw the pussification of men. No longer were we like, oh, we're going to be able to do this. I'm going to go work. Instead, we're like, I'll let her work.
Yeah,
I'll take
you're more like,
yeah. Instead of like going like if you need to go, you just go, now it's like, poof, I'm going to take a drug to get it out easier. So now we have kids that think they're entitled. Again, the 80s, we all want to be attorneys. It's all about me, the me generation. What do I get out of it?
Yep.
The explosion of divorce. What am I getting out of it? Oh, I don't want to work on it. What do I get? Why did we get married? I don't know. You look good at the time.
Yeah.
And now we got kids that go, you know what, Dad? I really need a $25,000 car and a $60,000 job. F you.
Yeah. Yeah, you can suck it.
So with this, now we've got technology. Technology is good and bad. Okay. But technology hurts us because we don't know how to communicate anymore. And that's part of the problem. So how do we fix what you just brought up if we cannot talk to each other?
Yep.
Okay. Because sooner or later, we're going to have a face-to-face with somebody.
Yep.
And to get anything done in Congress, we have some 89-year-old old man who got elected when the first Roosevelt was elected.
When Columbus came over.
And we can't get him out.
Yeah.
Can't get him out. So it's an entire domino effect. I was always for Governor Brown out in California. Two things I really liked: term limits and a flat tax. Okay.
Yep.
How much you work, I don't care how much you make, it's going to be this number. And let's get rid of all these special programs that you can write off.
Right. Right.
Just like our national budget. We're paying for stuff from the 20s.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So we're going to pay you farmers not to grow your corn.
Yeah.
What?
Where do I sign up for that?
We're going to hold back because we want to make sure the prices go up. Tell you what, Mr.
Right.
Pigman. No, we need pork bellies to be higher. So we're going to hold back. We're going to pay you not to do what it is that we could feed probably the entire world if we actually would let the farmers grow what they need to grow.
Right.
We don't want to do that.
Right.
We don't want to regulate guns because that's American freedom. No, we're entitled to that. But come on, I don't care what the NRA says. What I saw with the congressmen and the senators that are funded by the NRA,
Mm-hmm.
they're the first ones with sympathy and their votes. And I say, why don't we post all the politicians that got a lot of money from the NRA and go, bye-bye.
Right. Right.
It's like President Trump. The best way to get President Trump to shut up, if you do not agree with him, is stop responding to his tweets. What did we expect from a reality star? The silent majority put him in. They did. The conservative group, as much as we don't like it, the silent majority of what people really believe, because they'll blame Obama and they'll blame Bush, and it's really easy to point your finger at whatever.
And that's the thing. That's the problem is we just keep pointing our fingers, regardless of how you feel about our current president. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect anything unless you're standing up for what you believe. Unless you're doing something, it doesn't matter. We actually have a platform that we can talk about this, and we have several 100,000 people listening to us on a daily basis. So it's a little different for us, but we're still people. We still have to have an opinion. We still have to stand for something. And that's what America's about. We have to. Your opinion and my opinion will probably differ multiple times, but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean we can't be friends. We can't be brothers. I mean, we can't be. It's something that you're a human. You're gonna have a different opinion than I am. You can't force me to like your opinion any more than I can force you to like my opinion. That doesn't work like that.
Yeah, we come from different worlds.
Yeah.
I have a very different experience than you do.
Yes.
Okay. You're a rock star and you have talent. I'm a highly fired on-air personality.
Right.
So with that, and why can't we just sit across from whatever it is? Like I had mentioned the other day, finally my house is going to get fixed next week after essentially I'm saying my neighbor lit my house on fire. Okay.
I think technically that's true.
He said to the police, I was shooting off fireworks.
Yeah.
Cop said, hey, we need to talk to you. Disappeared.
Right.
I live in a cul-de-sac. My surrounding neighbors, the 3 of the 4, have not even come down to see how we were at all. Not one question, nothing. That's the type of society we're in now, which is sad.
Right.
It's really sad that it's just my world. I'm going to sit in front of my iPhone and I'm going to go get a loan because I want the new iPhone X.
Which is a mortgage payment for those following along.
I am starting a GoFundMe for the new iPhone X. Okay. I'm just saying.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Somehow, some way, my daughter wants one. So I don't know where I'm going to come up with the money because I'm a sucker. And you have a couple of years before that happens to you, my friend.
I don't think so. I think it's already happening. I can already feel it.
Yeah. Because right now she's probably playing with all that. And she's like, Daddy, iPhone 8. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what?
And somehow my bank account is empty now and she has an iPhone 8 in her hand. It's weird. I don't get it.
How did she get a debit card from you? That's all that I want to know. She's only 2. Okay.
She has her own. They signed her up for it. They said, do you have a social security number? She said, yes. And then they said, okay, we'll get you a bank account. I get mail for her all the time. I'm like, she can't freaking read, right?
That's
sending
right.
Mortgage crap. What is wrong with you people?
That's pretty funny, though.
Got on some list somewhere.
Have it. Right there, Discover. Amex, the new black Amex for 2-year-olds.
For 2.5-year-olds. Get it while they're hot.
That's right. Use it over at Toys R Us. It is the shopping season.
If you haven't reached your limit on this card, you're not trying hard enough.
Now, we could have gone on and on and on about Vegas, but really, we'll do that. We'll do a special show just for that. Because if nothing else, the conversation needs to be out there. This is not the last time we're going to hear of any of this, and the potential of more things going. Like here in Chicago, when they heard about Lollapalooza, and then we'll move on to Cam Newton, that now they're wondering if they're going to do Lollapalooza again in Chicago ever again. People are scared.
Well, with good reason.
Like if you want with this guy, how come there was no note, there was no posting, there was nothing? So that's why I agree with you. It's like, something doesn't sound right. Yeah,
something's weird, something's off. The initial coverage, 24 hours later, even looking back at the initial coverage, it was all wrong. Everything was wrong about it. It actually wasn't the 32nd floor, it was the 12th floor.
Yeah.
You see multiple videos of muzzles going off on the 12th floor. Nothing on the 32nd floor. They came in, they found him. It's not adding
like if
up.
you had something to say, why would you take your own life?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had planned on living.
And what I despised was the Vegas news playing their recordings.
Yeah.
Of it. Where that's why I had to leave. As much as I'd love to be on television, sometimes I just couldn't be on news. I was like, oh my God, what is, if it bleeds, it leads. That's what we were taught. If it bleeds, it leads.
Yep.
which gets us to Cam Newton. So that's how we'll get out of here today.
Cam freaking Newton.
So tell everybody what happened with the big Cam this week.
Well, so allegedly, not alleged. Actually, it's not allegedly. He actually did this. So a reporter was asking him simply about another one of his players, about how this player runs his routes. And for some reason, and I'm still trying to figure this out, for some reason, Cam Newton came back and said, that's really funny coming from a female. Something to that effect. And I'm still kind of confused as to why. Like, I guess I didn't see the entire interview. Maybe I had to watch the entire interview, but the clip that I saw, I don't know. I'm not like pro reporter, but at the same time, I guess I'm confused as to why. What am I missing? What's going on here?
Now, this brings us an underlining fact again of what we've been talking about today. All right, so women have been in the locker rooms now since the 80s. Okay,
Not my locker room.
Yeah, too bad. Sheboygan.
Yeah.
So it's not like she didn't ask anything that he had not heard before. You know, it's funny to listen to you, Rob. But again, there's that underlying. Now he could apologize whatever he wants, but there's underlying fact that got uncovered of what he thinks of perhaps women. And I'm just saying. Now, let's change the color of that young lady's skin and make her a sister.
Ooh.
Does he say something like that if it's his sister? I don't know.
I mean,
racism is thrown at us all the time.
Yep.
When I was back in Los Angeles, I made a couple of jokes, very colorful jokes, and I got jumped on that I was a racist. And these black guys were whiter than I was. Okay. They're from Atlanta, grew up like the Cosbys.
Right.
But one of them just kind of snapped and just like, that's racist. I'm like, are you kidding me? With the thing you say, and now I'm racist?
Right.
So you got to think, all right, so, Cam, who's pretty much been pretty privileged.
Right. Yep.
About it, from Auburn.
Yeah.
He didn't have the grades to get into Auburn, went somewhere else, somehow showed up at Auburn, somehow got good grades.
Somehow.
Great athlete, of course. But again, there's that underlining fact that we all cover up. We all kind of cover up our real colors and what we're afraid to say what we really believe. So again, you can say freedom of speech. He gets to say what he wants. Probably not the best thing to say, even if that's what he believes, that the women should not be in the locker rooms.
Right. And
he would be entitled to say that.
Right.
At least I think you can. And much like when we were talking about kneeling at the football games, you have no constitutional right to protest at a private, like at the football games. Sorry, you don't.
Because once you enter that facility, that is a private event. You had to have a ticket. You had to get invited, essentially, to get in to that particular event. That is on private property. Anything that happens inside of that event is under our current Constitution. Is completely okay. That doesn't mean you have to agree with it. That does not mean that at all. But given our current laws and our current way of doing things, that's how that works.
And what a surprise, most of America, going down, racial lines that would bites, that people are turning off television. They're turning off the NFL games.
It is about time. There's nothing good on TV.
You know what? And the games suck anyway, if you ask me. They're horrible. Can't hit anybody. Can't do anything.
I still like football, but I don't like where it's going. It's not like I was talking to a friend of mine today about that. And I was like, you remember like 10, 15, even 20 years ago when football was football and nobody complained about anything. They did their job. They knew this was their job and everything was fine. Yeah. Now it just seems like a bunch of pansies. Everybody, it doesn't matter what, NFL, NBA, hockey, I think, is the only one left that actually still has a couple of nuts left. That's right. I'm disappointed. Like, I love football, and this is ruining it for me.
That's why I now I'm subscribed to the lingerie league.
Ooh, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
On that, and then no leg pads, which I really like.
That is not a horrible idea. The Know Nothing Lingerie League.
Although some of the women that are linemen a little bigger than I am.
Well, they're not linemen anymore. They're line women.
In a bikini and shoulder pads. I'm not
But
sure.
they're line women. They're line women now. You got to be careful.
All right, so before we get out of here, we only got like a minute. Tell them what you're going to post up on the Facebook page and the Twitter page before we get out of here.
So we're going to put probably post show, but we're going to put up a little kind of a poll on what you would like to see if we were to replace or add another Mount Rushmore. Which iconic rock stars would you add to that situation? Which four? Now, huh?
They have to be American.
They have to be American, but here's the deal. Now, we kind of cheated this, and we put one face had two faces. So there's one person, one half of the face on this one. That's fine. It's a hard decision. Once you get to that fourth person, you'll get the first three. Once you get to that fourth person, you're going to have an issue. But we're going to post that up. You're going to have your answers. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about that probably next week. But that's what we're going to put that up here in a little bit.
Yeah, so a little twist on our show. We're kind of going back to our roots when we first started. So if you guys have subjects that you want to talk about, hey, just post it up on our page up on Facebook and on Twitter. We just want to hear what you guys think. Even that we think occasionally. We do
sometimes.
So with that, around the world, it is the Know Nothing Show. Eric, always a pleasure. Hope you have yourself a good night. We will see you next week. For the rest of the crew hanging out that don't really work, we'll see you next week on Know Nothing. Take care, everybody.